You're working at your own pace, making sure that nothing is causing pain or discomfort, as in joint pain. Muscular discomfort, entirely up to you. If you need to stop and have a little stretch, stop and stretch. If you can keep it going for as long as you can. Usual props, a band, a belt, strap, anything that I can use for assistance, especially for the legs. And then a ball if you have it, or a pillow, a cushion, a towel that I can use for some resistance. So if you're seated, finding your comfortable seated position, but try not to slouch. So making sure that I'm not compressing the front of the body, preventing the diaphragm, so your big breathing muscles inside of the rib cage from moving up and down. So see if I can sit a little bit straighter, giving myself a little bit more space to allow the drop and lift into the diaphragm. If you're laying down, just allowing yourself to relax onto the mat, keeping the legs straight or bent, whatever feels more comfortable for your hips and lower back. Allowing the arms to relax down the side, palms turn to face towards the ceiling. And then focusing on the breath, just noticing where you're breathing from. We tend to breathe apically, we tend to breathe from up here. So when we breathe, is the top of the chest that kind of like raises and drop. That's not a relaxed breath. So see if I can try and soften across the front of the chest, the throat and the neck. See if I can send the breath down into the rib cage, down into the belly. I'm picturing the diaphragm going up and down to create that breath. See if I can try and relax with that breath. And then at the same time that I'm focusing on taking the breath down into the belly, see if you can run a quick scan over the body. So noticing how you feel. Is there any niggle anywhere? I feel a bit sore. I feel a bit tight. I feel great. I feel that the pressure at the back of my hips is different, left and right. My right leg sits differently compared to my left. My right arm feels different compared to my right. I'm not changing anything. I just want to kind of like have a little bit of a guideline on how I feel to begin with the session. Then as you feel a little bit more settled with the breath, as you feel a little bit more relaxed, I'm going to start to focusing on the shoulder, on the arms. I'm going to start raising one arm up to the front, a side up and back as far as I can, and then easing the arm back. I'm going to try the same thing to the other side. So working into the shoulder joint. See if I can get some movement going into the right shoulder and then into the left shoulder. So if I'm seated, I'm going to try and take the arm towards the ceiling. If I'm laying down, I'll be taking the arm towards the back of the room, and then I'll swap to the other side. I'm not forcing anything, so I don't want to feel pain in the shoulder. And then especially if you're sitting up, as the arm, you're lifting against the gravity, so the arm is heavier to lift, making sure that it doesn't become so heavy that I feel that all of that side is kind of like stiffening up to pull it up. We'll see if I can keep the shoulder down, see if I can keep a nice relaxed neck as the arm is moving. 4, 3, 2, 1. Releasing the arms down, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. I'm going to change the direction of the movement. So still working into the shoulder, but this time instead of coming forward into a front raise, I'm going to go out into a lateral raise. So I'm going to swing the arm around the side, swing it back, swing the other arm around the side, and then swing it back, as if I was trying to make a big wave with the arms. I'm going to wave my right, wave it back, wave my left, and then wave it back. Same as you did for the front raise, making sure that there is no pain in the shoulder. If there is clicking in the shoulder, play with the position of the hand as the arm comes up towards the point where it clicks, turning the hand forward or out slightly. playing with the way the top of the arm sits into the shoulder socket to see if I can find a better fit between the two so that it doesn't click, it doesn't clonk every time that I move the arm. Allowing the arm to come slightly forward to the body line. If I feel that the shoulder is a bit stiff, I feel a bit tight on one side or both. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the arms. I'm going to stay with the shoulder girdle, with the upper body, see if I can create a little bit more connection across the front of the chest. So I'm going to grab hold of my ball, of my pillow, towel, and then I'm going to place it between my hands. Watch the wrists, making sure that the wrist stays straight. It doesn't start extending, so I'm not locked. I'm going to keep it straight. And then I'm going to start pressing the ball between the hands. As I press the ball, I'm going to try and squeeze the elbows in as well. Then I'm going to release the pressure, and then I'm going to press again. So as I press into the ball, whether I'm sitting or lying down, I should be able to feel tension across the front of the chest, and then a little tension behind the shoulder as well. So the lats, the big muscles that run from the back of the arm down the back towards the lower back, towards the back of the pelvis. So I'm going to squeeze and release. I'm not trying to squeeze with my shoulders. I'm not trying to squeeze with my neck. So the neck is staying long. I can move my head to look around one side. I can move my head to look around the other way to make sure that the shoulders are not shrugging and the neck is not locking in the middle. 3, 2, 1. Now try the same, but try to do it quicker. Imagine to be clapping your hands. I'm going to press, 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 press as quick as I can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50. And releasing back. Giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, relaxing the arms. I'm going to push the ball to the side, and then this time I'm going to try and focus on the back of the shoulders a little bit more. I'm going to start retracting the shoulders, so I'm going to draw the shoulders back as if I was trying to squeeze my shoulder blades together, and then I'm going to release. So I'm going to try and squeeze them together at the back and release. So if I'm seated, the chest will kind of like pop forward and lift as I try to squeeze the shoulders together in the middle. And then I'm just going to relax. If I'm lying down, imagine the back of the ribcage to lift it slightly off the mat. And then I'm going to release. So I'm going to retract and release. Retract and release. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then last one, I'm going to hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing back. Giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. I'm going to extend the right arm in front of me, and then with the left hand, I'm going to grab hold of the arm above or below the elbow joint, so not on the elbow joint. And then I'm going to pull the arm across the front of the chest until I can feel the stretch going around the back of the shoulder towards the middle of the back. So imagine to be wrapping the arm right across the front. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release, the same thing to the other side, the other arm in front. I'm going to grab hold of it and then pull it gently towards me until I can feel the stretch going around the back of the shoulder, the middle of the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. Giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, a little bit more movement into the shoulder girdle, shoulder joint, to see if I can get the back to join in this time. So I'm going to bring the arms to the front. I can clasp the hands together. I can keep the hands apart. I'm just going to start rocking from shoulder to shoulder, swinging from side to side. So I'm going to swing around to the right, come back to the center, swing over to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. Imagine to be, I don't know, throwing something behind you. So I'm going to throw behind one side, throw behind the other, throw around one side, throw around the other. Turning the ribcage, turning the head to follow the arms. If I'm down on the mat, I'll be just rolling from one over to the other side, from one over to the other side. So imagine to be massaging across the back of the shoulders and the middle of the back. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, returning back to the middle, resetting the shoulders, resetting the back. And then I'm going to change the direction of the movement one more time. I'm going to go into a lateral flexion. So if you're lying down, you might want to support the head. I'm going to lift it slightly off the mat. I'm going to flex to the right, ease back to the center, flex to the left, back to the center, to the right, center, to the left, center. If I'm seated, I don't need to support the head, as the head is on top of the shoulders, so I can keep the arms by the side of the chair to give me a little bit more support, or let the arms relax, and then I'm just going to start flexing from side to side, as if I was trying to pick something up from the side and then pick up something from the other side. So see if I can be aware of the tension into the side of the belly to create that little side to side movement, and at the same time nice easy movement through the back of the rib cage into the back. So the spine flex into one side, the spine flex into the other side. Making sure that nothing is pinching, nothing is catching as I'm moving to the right or moving to the left. The movement feels smooth, it feels easy. So there is no pain with the movement. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, returning back to the middle, adjusting the shoulders, adjusting the back. Again, it's a little bit more movement into the spine. I'm going to see if I can start getting into the hips as well. I'm going to support the leg if I need support. So I might put the strap around the back of the right leg. If I'm laying down, I'm going to lift the leg so that the knee's pointing straight up at the ceiling. If I'm seated, I don't need to lift the leg. My knee's pointing directly in front of the hip, so it's pointing straight ahead. And then using the arm to guide that leg, or if I don't need the support, I'm just going to move the leg. I'm just going to start to draw in little circles with that leg. Think of your thigh bone moving into the hip socket. So as if I was trying to turn a spoon into a ball, the pelvis is the ball, and then the thigh is the spoon that I'm trying to turn. So creating movement into the hip joint. It could be very little movement, it could be a very big one. same as we did for the shoulders. It's just making sure that the movement is not causing pain. So round and round. I'm going to reverse the direction of the circles going the other way. 10, 9, 8. If the leg becomes too heavy, I can always use the band. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, relaxing the hip or releasing the leg. I'm going to repeat the same thing to the left side. So using the strap around the back of the leg if I need that support. Keeping the strap to the side if I don't need that support. And then same as I did on the other leg, I'm going to start drawing little circles with that leg. So feeling that leg moving into the hip socket. Again, there's no pain. The movement feels smooth. It doesn't matter if it's a circle and it's a kind of like oval, just trying to use as many directions as possible to move the leg. 3, 2, 1. Reversing the circle going the other way. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing down, relaxing the hip or releasing the leg. So there's a little bit more movement into the hip joint. It feels a little bit warmer. It feels a little bit looser. I'm going to shuffle the feet and the knees nice and close together. If laying down, I'm going to let the arms open out to the side. And then I'm going to start going into a little hip roll. So turning the hips to one side, I'm going to roll the hips, roll the legs one way, easing them back to the center, and then I'm going to roll the other way. So same as you did for the shoulders earlier, think of a nice gentle massage across the back of the hips, across the back of the pelvis. If I'm seated, unfortunately, I can't move my legs. I can't move my hips as I'm sitting, or my hips are sitting on my bum. So I'm just going to use the arms to help me. I'm going to reach across with the left arm, and then I'm going to try and pull the legs to the left, then ease back to the middle. And then with the right arm, I'm going to pull them to the right, ease back to the middle, and then I'm going to pull the other way. So still encouraging a little rotation, a little movement into the legs, but same as I've been doing so far, making sure that the movement is not causing me pain. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, adjusting the legs, resetting the hips in the middle, the back, a little bit looser around the pelvic girdle and the hip girdle. I'm going to go back into the upper body. I'm going to reach the right hand underneath the left armpit, and then with the the right hand underneath the left armpit. Left hand, I'm going to reach around the shoulders as if I was giving myself a little hug. And then maintaining the arms in this position, I'm going to keep looking straight ahead. I'm just going to start rolling the shoulders from side to side. So I'm going to rotate through the torso, but keeping the head fixed in the middle. So I'm not turning the head. So I'm going to pick a point on the wall in front of me. If I'm seated,
on the ceiling if I'm lying down, and then I'm just going to gently start rolling from side to side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Easing back to the middle, I'm going to switch the arms. So my left hand, I'm going to put it under the right armpit. The right hand goes over the right shoulder. I'm going to give myself that nice hug, and then I'm just going to start the rocking gently from side to side again. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Easing back to the middle. I'm going to switch the arms again. So right hand under the left armpit, left hand over the right shoulder. I'm going to give myself that hug. This time I'm going to turn the head to look over the left shoulder and then rotate the body to the right. So I'm going to go in opposite direction. I'm going to hold that position there. I'm going to take 6 breaths here. The first 3 I'm going to breathe through the mouth. 1, 2, 3. The next 3 I'm going to breathe through the nose. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to turn to look a little bit further around the left shoulder. Turn the body a little bit more to the right. I'm going to stay here. Now imagine to be breathing or sucking through a straw. I'm going to take a deep breath in. I'm going to breathe in again, 2. I'm going to breathe in a little bit more, 3. And then I'm going to relax. Turning a little bit more if I can. I'm going to try again. Deep breath in. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to exhale and relax. One more time. 1, 2, 3. And relax. Turning a little bit more. I'm going to stay here. Pick a spot. And then watching that spot, I'm going to breathe in 6 times. This time breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to turn back to the center, and then I'm going to twist the other way. So I'm going to turn to look around my right shoulder, and then twist the body to the left. So head to the right, body to the left. I'm going to breathe in 6 times. First 3 breaths, I'm going to breathe through the mouth. 1, 2, 3. Then 3 through the nose. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to stay here. Turn the head a little bit more to the right, the body to the left. And then we're going to blow up the balloon. So again, as if you were blowing through a straw, I'm going to inhale. And again. And again. And then I'm going to exhale all the way out. Breathing in. 2, 3. And out. Turning a little bit more if I can. One more time. In. 2, 3. And release. Then pick a spot on the wall on the side. And then looking at the spot. Breathing in through the nose.
out through the mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Easing back to the middle, releasing the heart, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, a little swing through the arms, bring the head, the back to the center. And then I'm going to go back into the legs. I'm going to grab hold of my towel pillow, and then I'm going to put it between the knees. I'm going to shuffle the feet a little bit closer together. And then this time, think of your inner thighs working, so the inside of the legs. I'm going to press into the ball, press into the pillow. If it was a balloon, I was trying to pop the balloon. Then I'm going to ease that pressure, and then I'm going to press in again. Ease that pressure, and then press in again. So if you're lying down, your feet are still on the ground, and the ball of the pillow is between the knees, I'm just going to squeeze. If I'm seated, the feet are where it's more comfortable, and then the ball sits between the knees. Notice the difference between the right and the left leg. I might find that with the right leg, I can squeeze really well. With the left leg, I can't. So if I look at the legs, my right leg seems to be moving in, my left leg doesn't seem to be doing anything, or vice versa. Focus on the leg that doesn't seem to be responding very well. See if I can focus my attention, my intention into that leg a little bit more. See if I can make it work a little bit harder. Using the hand to guide it if I need to, just kind of like direct it and tell it, I want it to go that way. I want it to come back this way. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then on the next one, I want you to squeeze and hold that squeeze for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ease the pressure. Try again. Squeeze and hold the squeeze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Release. One last time. Squeeze and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And release. Pushing the ball to the side, giving the leg a little tap, a little rub, relaxing the inner thigh, relaxing the hip, relaxing the leg. And then I'm going to go back into the upper body, still working in rotation, but this time instead of closing everything, I'm going to try and open everything up. So if you're laying down, I want you to roll over onto your side, setting yourself into opening and closing doors. The knees are bent directly in front of the hips, the shins nice and level to the front of the mat. Same as usual, the shoulder that is underneath, don't crash on top of it, just pull it forward so that that shoulder is relaxed, that arm is relaxed. The head supported with something if I need that support. And then I'm just going to start opening with that top arm. I'm going to rotate and open as wide as I can. And then I'm just going to ease my way back. And then I'm going to try again. Making sure that the front of the chest is opening. The rib cage is turning. If I'm seated, imagine to be shooting arrows. So I'm going to hold my bow with my left arm, and then I'm going to pull the string with my right hand. So I'm going to pull back, reach forward. I'm going to let go and then try again. Pull back with the right, reach forward with the left, let go, and then back again. To see if I can create a nice rotation to open up, turning the rib cage to follow the right arm, come back to the front, and then I'm going to try and open again. Then if you feel that the shoulder is okay with the movement and you can open a little bit more, then see if you can think of widening the arm. So instead of pulling and stopping here, I'm just going to keep going nice and big. Then swing the arm back, and then I'm going to try again. Pull out nice and big, and then back. So feeling the back of the shoulder working, feeling the spine rotating. Just make sure that the movement is not creating tension up into the neck. So I'm not shrugging, I'm not stiffening. I'm trying to keep us relaxed into the shoulders, open and long into the neck as I can. 3, 2, last one. And releasing back, or releasing the shoulders, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. If you're lying down, I want you to switch side, setting the same position on the other side. So making sure that the bottom arm is reaching forward, so you're resting on the back of the shoulders, the knees are in front of the hips, so the shins are level to the front of the mat. And then I'm going to start opening on the other side. If I'm seated with the left arm, I'm going to, with the right arm, I'm going to hold, with the left, I'm going to pull. I'm going to try a couple of reaches, keeping the elbow bent, turning the rib cage, forward with the right arm, back with the left. And then if I feel comfortable enough, I might try to open up wider, swinging back and then opening again. But same as on the other side, make sure that the shoulder doesn't feel as if it's ending up in awkward position. It doesn't feel as if the neck is suddenly tensing and stiffening. It feels easy, it feels loose. I'm just swinging out and then coming back, swinging out and then coming back. So making it as relaxed as possible for the arm, getting that nice opening across the front of the chest. If I'm laying down, making sure that my knees are staying together, they're staying on the floor, so it's just the torso that is turning to the ceiling, and then the arm that is opening out to the side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, giving the shoulder a little bit of a roll, relaxing the shoulder, releasing the back. If I'm on the mat, I'm going to roll over onto the back, setting myself back into neutral. And then going back into the hips, into the legs. So this time I'm going to work in extension. I think of the back of the bum, the back of the legs working. I'm going to push down through the soles of the feet, and then I'm going to drive the hips up towards the ceiling. I'm going to release back, and then I'm going to squeeze and drive them up again, and then easing back down. If you're on the chair, same as usual, imagine to be standing off the chair. So I'm going to bring the feet a little bit closer, and then leaning forward into the legs, I'm going to push through the feet as if I was trying to take my hips off the chair, and then I'm going to sit back down again. So I'm going to stand up and then sit down. So it's trying to get the back of the legs, the back of the bum to create that squeeze, the lift, and then easing back. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and release and back, giving the legs a little shake, relaxing the legs and releasing the hips. And then I'm going to work into the back again. This time, see if I can try and create a little bit more movement down into the lumbar, down into the lower back. I'm going to start off with a little pelvic tilt. So I'm going to tilt the pelvis back. I'm going to round the lower back, and then forward, back into neutral. So I'm going to tilt and release the tilt. So think of your pubic bone and your tailbone. I'm going to try and rock back onto my tailbone, and then I'm going to try and come forward onto the pubic bone. I'm going to try and rock back onto the tailbone and then forward into the pubic bone if I'm sitting. So see if I can create that gentle movement into the lower back of feeling the belly compressing, tightening to create that flexion, and then lengthening to come back into extension. If I'm lying down, even easier is I've got the mat to guide me. So I'm going to tilt the pelvis back. I'm going to press the lower back gently into the mat, and then I'm going to lift it away again. So tilting and releasing the tilt. Feeling that corset, the tightening around the middle as I tilt. Focusing on your pelvic floor if that makes it easier. Imagine to be lifting everything up towards the inside of the body. And then I'm just going to release. 10, 9, relaxing shoulders, neck, the jaw, the face. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back, adjusting the hips, and then from posterior anterior tilt, so from flexion extension, I'm going to go into a little hip hitch, so it's lateral shifting. So I'm going to hitch the right hip up towards the right side of the rib cage, and then hitch that left to the left. So feeling the hips are just gently moving side to side, as if the hips of the pelvis was like a little pendulum swinging from one to the other side. Keeping nice and flattened to the mat if I'm laying down, while if I'm seated, imagine to be just pulling one seat bone away from the chair, pop it back down, pulling the other, pop it back down again. So a little bit more awareness into the side of the belly, the obliques working to create that little lift, and then easy back down. Little lift, easy back down. Using the hands on the side, on the back of the chair to give me a little bit more stability if I need to, or just taking the arms away. And then same as you've been doing so far, just notice any bracing, any tension into the shoulders, the neck, the face and the jaw. See if you can release that tension, see if you can let it go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and easing back, returning the hips back to the middle, resetting the pelvis back into the center. And then when you're ready, if you're laying down, rolling over onto your side, and in your own time, pushing yourself back up into sitting. Finding your comfortable seated position, so legs wherever it's easier, crossing, opening in front of you, leaning against the wall, sofa, just making sure that there's nothing that is going to slide away. Using the arms to support you. Once that I feel that I've got that comfortable seated position so I can stay here comfortably, I'm going to focus on the front and the back of the body. What I want is to create as much space at the front as possible, and then as much space at the back as possible. So I'm going to start, imagine to have a little hook onto your breastbone that is pulling your breastbone forward, and then it's lifting it up. I'm going to try and lift it as high as I can. And then once that I can't lift it any higher, I'm going to tip the head back. I'm going to lift to look up with the ceiling. I'm going to try and look back as far as I can. And then now imagine the hook to just let go. So I'm just going to allow the rib cage to drop, the chin to come down to the chest. I'm going to let myself come forward, allowing the back of the neck to relax, the head to fall forward, the shoulders to fall forward. I'm going to allow myself to come as far forward as I can, and then I'm going to uncurl back. See if you can put tension again into the hook. So I'm going to let the hook lift the chest up to the ceiling. I'm going to look forward, I'm going to look up, I'm going to look back as far as I can. And then I'm going to let go, allowing the ribcage to drop, the head to come forward, the shoulders to come forward, the body to fall forward as far as it can. Last time, extending up, chest to the ceiling, let it lift as far as you can, looking forward, looking up, looking back, and then releasing back to the front. One hand to the belly, one hand to the back. Take your bow, give yourself a